Chapter 83 of Dragon Ball. Super changes everything. Damn, how much I wanted to use this phrase in an adequate context. Come on, again. Chapter 83 of Dragon Ball. Super changes everything. Oh god, what a pleasure it really is. Again, the bowling alley is arriving extremely late to the Dragon Ball Super Chapter review. I almost posted it a month later, but I have had a pretty sore throat these days. Yes, League of Legends is again to blame for the video delay. Nah, don't play that, it's bad for you. I know, and I love it. Although this video is going to be an episode review, I also want it to serve as something more. And it's that in this chapter something so incredibly heavy has occurred, that even though it doesn't change the events of the story or continuity as such, it will change your perspective on the first part of this work, the original Dragon Ball, but we'll get to that later. And when I read this chapter for the first time with you on stream, I was left very cold. I didn't quite understand what had just happened. Or if what had just happened carried any weight, or was it just another chapter? More or less, let's say. After analyzing the events, watching explanatory videos, and chatting with the chat, I drew my own conclusions and fully understood what happened. So don't worry if episode 83 left you somewhat cold or not. You understood all that talk about Bardock's wish or his mysterious anti-gas power-up. Because all your doubts will be resolved here, just like I resolved them in their day. The chapter begins where we left off. No, if you think it will explain why Hello Kitty is satanic, I agree. Bardock is facing gas. I refuse to call Monite by that name. For me, he is Papu. Monite advises Bardock to run so that at least he will save himself, bitterly affirming that they will accept their fate. Bardock doesn't have to die there, which greatly honors Monite, already one of my favorite characters. He's a great person with a lot of courage. Dragon Ball shows that you don't need to be the strongest to be a good character. I wish it had been understood earlier with Piccolo and Tenshinhan, but well, I'm not complaining. Cass interrupts the conversation with a very interesting point. He tells Bardock that the Saiyans didn't have much time left anyway. Is this something he heard from ELEC making spoilers from the times on planet Vegeta? What a son of a bitch. The warriors' duel resumes as Bardock tells Monite to leave as they are interfering. But Gas decides to fight with all his might, unleashing his instinct. Meanwhile, Monite refuses to let the man who saved their lives perish so easily. He searches for the soul resource that Namekusen can use to protect himself from such danger. The Dragon Balls. Here he reminds us that the Namekians are forbidden to use these balls for a selfish purpose. But since the intention is to save a planet this time, doesn't he think nothing bad should happen? I don't know how they handle it. The Namekians may not be the most powerful race in the universe in terms of combat, but they all carry tremendous courage. Nearly every Namekian has a heroic soul and pure heart, making them gigachats. But is it Luke? Isn't it canon? Damn! Bardock is surprised at Gas's sudden power increase, to which the latter tells him he's just getting started. Bardock, a true Saiyan, maintains his fighting spirit despite the question of whether he has lost his will to battle. That now is when things are going to get a little more interesting. Gas silences him and hits him epically. Meanwhile, Monite is already chatting with the Axolotl, which I find to be unquestionably the most adorable dragon that has appeared in the franchise. Even its mini-balls are adorable. Yes, that definitely sounded better in my head. Monite asks the dragon to return Bardock to his home planet, but as expected, Bardock refuses to leave the planet just like that. He stays to watch the fight and protect Monite and the boy, as he fears what may happen to them if he leaves. That Gas looks at the dragon surprised. Isn't it unusual to suddenly see a dragon with an axolotl face while watching a guy on the street? It might happen to me, but I don't think it's normal. Bardock still can't get close to Gas's level, and Monite telepathically tells Bardock that he must live. She knows his good heart will one day save another person. Bardock colonized and exterminated intelligent races and planets along with his race. Well, it's just part of the job, right? You shouldn't mix work with personal life. Bardock refuses to retire fully, wanting to beat Gus at any cost. Monite, frustrated, pleads with him to accept her help and make a wish. The Saiyan makes the typical paternal wish of wanting his children to grow up healthy and strong, not taking it too seriously. And here we already have the crux of the matter. This wish is not only of utmost importance to the events of this chapter, but it literally changes everything. The way we could see Dragon Ball with this simple wish from Bardock changes completely, but we'll get to that now. On the other hand, we are focused on Gas's brothers and his delightful sister. Because a giant, 10-sun bright dragon hovering motionless over a forest for 5 minutes tends to attract attention. Right? But if there's a giant glow over there, it's interesting, isn't it? Elec comments that what he just saw worries him and decides to travel to the Namekian's house to see what happened. Luckily, he stopped just short of calling it a Hatsune concert. Miku Monite, who is currently Bardock's biggest fan, says he assumed Bardock would make a selfless wish that gave hope for the future. Your uncle sees you wearing a shirt with a hint of pink and questions your masculinity, continuing to talk. And with his best GigaChat face because Toriyama and Toyotaro know that we love the Nameku's. Vergudo says that the only thing he has left to do now is to protect the hope of the future, to guard hope with all his strength. While Granola sleeps peacefully, Cass continues to attack Bardock and tears off his tail. To avoid issues with a giant monkey, the warrior readies a spear to deliver the coup de grace to Bardock. He throws the spear, my goodness, throws the spear, and forgive me. Here would go the GigaChat song, the one of Can You Feel My Heart? But YouTube would hit me with a big copyright strike, so I suggest playing it yourself in the background. Monit uses his body to shield Bardock, apologizing for earlier and expressing his resolve to protect Granola with his life. Gas gets very angry, very much so, and transforms into that wild mode he has. Bardock gets away from the pirate, and he asks him why he's so insistent on keeping a fight he can't win. If he is attempting to atone for his sins by rescuing a child or an elderly person, if that will negate all the damage they, along with his kind, have done to various civilizations across the universe. Bardock tells him, laugh out loud no, then Gus tells him that it's about killing women. From the Saiyans, which I assume is a poor translation as it lacks clarity, Bardock responds to him saying laugh out loud no. He starts to have a strange aura and wrestles with Gus Alok, the Saiyan. He explains that in a life or death fight, is there any fool who thinks about anything other than winning? BOOM, a punch in the stomach. Gas gets agitated, because according to their reports, the Saiyans should not have any type of ability beyond the Zaru. Bardock replies to Burlon that this is what he believes. When Saiyans reach their limit and need to break it, they just do it. That's how Saiyans are. Bardock easily defeats Gas, leaving him battered on the ground. The poor thing looked like a baby who had been thrown from a 5th floor. That reference seems a bit edgy, doesn't it? Bardock falls exhausted to the ground, as is normal. After surpassing his limits, Elec seems to take his younger brother away. Although it looks like he wants to steal a baby, better leave that subject, right? Elec notes Bardock's presence, and Bardock asks if they were not Freezer's allies. Elec tells him that, well, in business there are always two sides of the coin. Elec also dropped a phrase that I liked a lot, and that is Saiyans are too innocent. They should be wary, because otherwise a meteorite might just fall on their heads. Bardock, all dumb, my boy says to him, what do you mean, poor thing? You can't be handsome, badass, and smart at the same time. So Elec says to him, I will tell you, but first you have to grab my gun, and he shoots at him as if he were in Tamaulipas, but he misses all the bullets. What things? So Bardock survives with Monite, and he announces that Bardock is the winner of the match. Wait a moment, what just happened? Okay, I'll try to keep it short. What was all this? What the hell did Bardock's wish mean? Where the hell did that exaggerated power-up come from? How is it possible that ELEC missed such easy shots at a literally immobile target? Is it all just a series of plot holes, or is there more to it? I'm happy to report that this time, everything adds up. Both the power-up and Bardock not dying here are an indispensable part for the wish that he himself asked for to be fulfilled. Bardock's sudden power-up during his fight with Gas is likely a Zenkai, which allowed him to win the battle. He got this power-up after wishing for it and the egg failing to stop the bullets. Bardock simply couldn't die here. He literally has plot armor due to the wish he made. And you might ask, what does the wish have to do with Bardock? What if what Bardock asked for was for his children to grow up strong and healthy? Exactly, because who was in charge of sending Kakarot to Earth so that he wouldn't die? Exactly, Bardock. If Bardock had died to Gas, nobody would have sent Goku to Earth, and therefore everything would have been pretty screwed up. That's why, coincidentally, Raditz and Goku were the only Saiyan family members who survived the catastrophe of planet Vegeta. Then there's Vegeta's brother, but as I'm not sure whether he's canon or not, I will ignore him. Like Freezer, this wish alters the perspective on the original Dragon Ball series, as it prevented Goku's death until adulthood. Then there are jerks who say, it doesn't make sense because Goku and Raditz die. Yeah, sure, Birdbrain, because they're adults. Think a little, daddy. Hey, hold up. I want to add an unscripted comment while recording this video as I just realized something. And that is, if I remember correctly, Vegeta, when he was with Raditz, they did not return to planet Vegeta when it was destroyed, simply because Vegeta said better not to return. Now then, I don't know if Vegeta knew something as a child, or if this was also part of the wish. The fact that Vegeta and Raditz did not return to planet Vegeta to die. I haven't checked, so I'm not aware at the moment. I'm here with the script. So I don't know if what Vegeta did, that decision he made as a child, was because he smelled something or knew something, or it was simply part of the desire. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. All of this, once again, seems very interesting to me. Initially, I was confused, but after researching, I realized this could have been a stroke of genius, which adds interest in discussing past subjects, as long as it doesn't mess up the continuation of these things. Everything's fine, although, well, it's not like Toriyama cares much about things like continuity. If you'd like me to share my thoughts on the current Bardock in a video, let me know in the comments. Ciao! If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow me on my social media, like Twitter and Twitch, where I stream almost daily. Don't forget to follow me on my secondary channel, Tilter, where I upload videos reacting to anime or reading mangas that I have seen or read live. Thanks, see you next time!